Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. My name is Phil Turner, and I'm the service leader for today. Our minister is a Reverend Stephen Robinson. I'm going to start off with a poll and find out how many of you arrived at 10 a.m. this morning. No, I knew there'd be somebody. Which is better than in the spring when you arrive and the service is over. Our services are streamed on YouTube and Zoom, but no matter how you join us, you are always welcome. Our flowers this Sunday are left over from that wonderful play experience that we had here on Thursday, so thank you. We encourage everyone to read announcements in our order of service, and mine is on my seat, so someone hold up your there you go, order of service. It's actually an insert. We also provide weekly email updates every Thursday, and of course, don't forget to check out our website at uucolumbia.org. We welcome families with children. Today, children and youth are invited to bring toys and books from the back of the social hall to their seats while they stay in service with their parents. For children and for infants and children to age 5, we provide childcare. We'd love to have more child care volunteers. Paid positions are also available. To be a volunteer, see either Bethany Strolazzi or Jonathan White. Linda McLeod has an announcement.
There we go. That's better. But you know who I am. Share the Plate was developed in 2011 to control random collections for various charities and to qualify the legitimacy of the charities. The policy found on our website allows that we share half of all loose plate collections with the recipients selected for each month. Here's how it works. Each year, in the first 2 weeks of October, we offer an opportunity to our members and friends to nominate a qualified local charity that they would like to have considered as a recipient for the following year. They must be local and a nonprofit 501c3 organization. That information is available on their website. The 2 charities receiving the most nominations in each category become the candidates to be voted on during the first 2 weeks of November. You'll find that Share the Plate voting ballot today in our order of service. Please take it out and look it over. And I've already seen some of you filling it out, and that's a good thing. We are fortunate to have so many new UUCC members, but we are concerned that they are not fully aware of how the Share the Plate process works and may not be participating in the nominating process. It's too late to nominate new candidates now, as the deadline was October 15th. It is not too late to vote for which one of those top 2 candidates in each category that you want to be the recipient for 2024. Information on those candidates is available on the bulletin board in the foyer. It is also not too late to be paying attention throughout this next year to qualifying organizations that you would like to nominate for next year. We would like to see more and other charities have the opportunity to benefit from this program. 2024 voting begins today and can be done on the paper ballot that I called your attention to, or even easier, and it would be easier for us, go to the link shown on the ballot and vote online. That link can also be found on your website, in the weekly events, or in the order of service. If you need help with either the paper ballot or how to vote online, please stop by the Share the Plate table in the social hall, and I will be happy to help you. I want to leave you with this very important fact about this program. Since we began sharing our loose plate collections with local charities in 2011, UUCC has added over $133,000 to the general fund. This means that local charities have also received over $133,000 furthering their good works. This should help you to realize the importance of this program and hopefully encourage you to participate in voting and next year contributing names and information about your favorite charity. If you are satisfied with keeping the same recipients that we have, then you should nominate them to assure that they keep their place on the ballot. And we can't talk about Share the Plate without thanking all of you for your generosity over these past 12 years.
Thank you, Linda. And now please silence all devices as we center ourselves for today's service and listen to the prelude.
I invite the UUCC Adult Choir to come forward to sing our opening selection, Ven Espiritu de Amor. And the translation for this beautiful piece by Daniel Iverson is, Come, Spirit of Love, descend upon me. Take me, change me, fill me, use me. Come, Spirit of Love, descend upon me.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the congregational covenant in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, which means we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We side with love, embracing and welcoming all people. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and comments, and our board members have green name tags so that you may recognize them. Now I would like to recognize any guests or visitors who are here today. Isabel will come around with a microphone. Please wait for the microphone, then please rise and share with us your name and where you are from. If you have guests with you, please feel free to introduce them.
Hi, I'm Joan Watterson, and stand up. This is my son Benji, who was raised in this church, and his friend Julia Haverstock. They live up near Asheville in Weaverville.
Welcome.
I guess I'm the one speaking. This is my friend Sue, who I live really close to. We've just been friends since we started going to the dog park together. So our dogs are friends, and she's become a great friend. So she lives locally. She's not a visitor or anything.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say something else.
Thank you, Isabel. I believe that's it. Anyone who is a visitor and would like to find out more information about us, there's a card that you can find in the back of the chair in front of you. Please place that card in the collection plate.
This is obviously our service of remembrance today. In the spirit of Dia de los Muertos, we are remembering those who have died, and particular emphasis this year, as we do every year, on the members and friends who have died in the previous. And so there's a beautiful insert in the program this morning, and we will be naming them a little bit later. But please take an opportunity to look at the 6 members and friends who have died. And so these are our honorary chalice lighters today in memoriam. Spirit of light and life, come unto us. Our opening words today come from Kathleen McTeague. In the struggles we choose for ourselves, in the ways we move forward in our lives and bring our world forward with us, it is right to remember the names of those who gave us strength in this choice of living. It is right to name the power of hard lives well lived. We share a history with those lives. We belong to the same motion. They too were strengthened by what had gone before. They too were drawn on by the vision of what might come to be. Those who lived before us, who struggled for justice and suffered injustice before us, have not melted into the dust and have not disappeared. They are with us still. The lives they lived hold us steady. Their words remind us and call us back to ourselves. Their courage and love evoke our own. We, the living, carry them with us. We are their voices, their hands, and their hearts. We take them with us, and with them choose the deeper path of living.
Our opening hymn is number 1001, Breaths. It's in your teal hymnal, and I invite you to stand as you're willing and able to join in singing. This song is adapted from a poem by the Senegalese poet Barago Dia, and the music is by Isai Barnwell and recorded by Sweet Honey in the Rock. It's number 1001 in your teal hymnals. There are going to be some repeats in this, so it actually starts with the chorus, and you can sing straight through the 4 pages, and then it's going to repeat back to the chorus in the second verse, and repeat back a final time to sing one last chorus.
I invite anyone who would like to come down for the story for all ages to join me down front. Good morning. I'll grab a chair. Good morning. Today is Dia de los Muertos. Well, today is not Dia de los Muertos, but it's our day of celebrating it. It was a few days ago on the calendar, but this is our service where we take some time to remember. And so I want to share a little bit about Dia de los Muertos with this book. And hopefully I can do both, hold them and do both. Thank you, Anna. Yeah. All right, can you see the beautiful pictures? And this is for all of our big folks too who are out there, so don't check out. This is a good time to listen. It's Dia de los Muertos, the sun's coming around, as niños prepare in each pueblo and town. For today, we will honor our dearly departed with celebraciones, and it's time to get started. Yeah. At home, we adorned our altares with care. They're heaped with recuerdos and good things to share. Sweet calaveras, so sugary white, they give toothy smiles, but never a fright. A black and white photo of Grandpa Padilla, who's riding on horseback just like Pancho Villa. And toys for remembering small angelitos. A train and a dollhouse are both favoritos. Then off to the graveyard we head with ofrendas and colorful blankets to make meriendas. We carry incienso and velas to burn that will guide spirits back for their yearly return. And burst of calendulas, fragrant and bright, the color of sunsets and gold candlelight. A path of petalos will help lead our guest in pillows and blankets for taking a rest. Emilio, you should be helping me out here a little bit. I'm not lying. I feel like you're judging me, like, oh man, messing that up. I see those accents, I'm missing them. Above we hang streamers of papel picado that wave in the breeze like a rainbow pintado. We giggle at paper-cut banners we like, escueleros riding a horse, cart, or bike. We share in the foods that our guests love to eat, fresh fruit and tamales, a holiday treat, and clay pots of grandmother's fresh chicken stew with mugs of atole, a chocolatey brew. But everyone's favorite is sugary bread called pan de muerto with bones of the dead that offers our travelers a much-needed snack from the weary viaje that brought them all back. Then after our lunch comes the part we loved most, putting on makeup to dress like a ghost. That's it on that page. In veils and costumes, we join the parade, and although we wear huesos, no one is afraid. Gilberto has scars and a special corona. Annabelle looks like the real La Llorona. Joaquin's Snow White barba sweeps down to the floor, while Louise looks like someone we've all seen before. And just as the marigold clouds end the day, dancers and musicos come out to play. They wear special shells that go clickety-clack to wake up espiritos, calling them back. As candles' flames glisten, our smiles are bright. Our ancestors know we are with them tonight. They return to their world without sadness or fear, knowing that they'll stay in our hearts till next year. Very nice. Very cool. So this is our day of remembrance, and it's an opportunity for us, obviously, as we talked about in the chalice, to remember the members and the friends of the UUCC who died since we did this service last year. But this really is an occasion for all of us to remember anybody that we want to bring to our minds, bring to our hearts today. And so we have some papers that we're going to use in the service, and we invite you in our time of remembrance to use these papers here. And so if everyone will grab one, we're going to maybe get a little help passing those out. So everybody at least grab one. And you can write several names on there of folks you're remembering. You want to help? And if somebody, let's see, a couple of folks can help pass out the papers, we'll make it go quickly. And there should be some pencils you can also use, or pens. You can share pens. Thank you so much. This will be important when we come to our time of remembrance in the service. So just remember, anyone who comes to mind, doesn't matter if they died in this previous year or it's been 20 years, since their death. If they are on your heart and on your mind this morning, they have come back for a reason to visit you today and to be a part of your memory. So make sure that their name gets on the paper, and then we'll have a chance to honor them and honor their memory in just a few minutes in our celebration. And just hang on to your papers after you write the names on them, and we'll share them a little later in the service. All right, at this time, we will also create a space to remember those concerns and joys that you're bringing into the room this morning with our candles of community. And I want to start us off with a candle that we meant to share last week, but a lot of us were in the mountain, and so it got missed. But last week, Bruce was in the hospital and wanted us to light a candle. He still has an upcoming surgery coming up, and so we light this candle for Bruce this morning. If you have a joy or concern, I invite you to come, briefly share it, and light a candle, add to our chalice here.
I'm lighting a candle of great joy today because my grandson, who is in the U.S. Army, came home from Poland last night. So he'll be home for a while.
We have a joy to share today. We're pregnant. My wife is immobile back there with Lena, but we're due January 6th of all days. And it's another girl, so we'll have two girls. Looking forward to welcoming another member into the congregation.
I'm Kevin McKinney, co-chair of the Social Action Committee, and my joy this morning is the beginning for me, or what's become for me the beginning of the Christmas season, which is the kickoff of Guest at Your Table. Yeah, love to support human rights around the world, and we'll be back if anybody's interested in learning more about that.
This candle actually goes along with today's theme, especially with those of us with Native American ancestry. This is a candle of remembrance for Native American Heritage Month.
Just a quick plug for our 3 kids who are at the mountain this weekend at the elementary con that y'all helped support, and they went for no charge because you guys paid for them to go. So Cal, Artemis, Lucille are there with Lydia and Meg, my wife, having fun. I guess they're going to be driving back sometime soon, but I've seen some good pictures. They're ready they had a talent show last night. Anyway, it was great. Those kids are at the elementary con.
Hi, I'm Bethany. This is a candle of joy and concern. I'll start with a concern. Activist, spunky, sparky, Tootsie Holland is in hospice. So go visit her if you have an opportunity. And my joy is for my daughter Sophia. When she was applying to college, she applied to a number of colleges, and she hadn't gotten into her first choice or her second choice. I don't even know if she got into her third choice. And we were all breathing a sigh of relief when she got into her backup plan, and it's a good lesson in life, always have a backup plan. It served her well, and she graduated, and past 2 years she's been working to get into graduate school. She had a lot of prerequisites. She had to do thousands of hours of patient contact, oh my goodness, essays, interviews, references. There's only a few schools in the United States that has what she's looking for. And I'm just really happy for her. Not only did she get into her backup plan, but she got into her dream school. So she's gonna be coming home to the East Coast in about 9 months. Yay. PA school and let's see, physician assistant with a second degree in public health. Emory.
When you get short. I'm Susan Robinson, and just lighting a candle of joy for my little grandchild. My little granddaughter arrived safely on the 25th of October, so she's almost 2 weeks old. She was 4 pounds 11 ounces. Well, no, 4 pounds 14 ounces, but she's past her 5 pounds and pretty tough. So we're so happy.
Emilio, I don't have a candle, but just imagine I have it. I just want to light a candle of joy for the mountain, because it was a beautiful experience last week. We all had a good time. We had great organizers that took care of all the details for us, and it's a beautiful experience. If you haven't been there, just try it because you'll like it. And for you, somebody with this accent cannot criticize anybody with a Spanish accent, so you're okay. You're okay.
Thank you all for sharing, and thank you for, I think it's Bethany, shared about Tootsie Holland being on hospice care. If you don't know Tootsie, and if you do know her, this will make more sense, but she is a giant when it comes to advocacy, although she only stands about that tall. And also wanted to use the opportunity to say that Warner Montgomery, also a former member, is on hospice care as well. And so we are definitely providing care and support to them and to Linda in this time. Both of them are open to visitors. The last thing we do when we light candles like this is create a space for those silent joys and concerns. And so we do that with our own silence at this time. Thank you. It's my pleasure as we prepare for our offering this morning to welcome from Harvest Hope, our Share the Plate recipient this month, to welcome Aaron Rowe to share a little bit about the great work of Harvest Hope.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for having me this morning. I love speaking to people about what we do at Harvest Hope. It's my passion, it's my love language is feeding people. And when we think about this time of year, it's centered around food. And if you think about food, it's literally one of the most vital things that you need. And if you don't eat, you die. And that's really what we are there for, is to make sure that we have sustainable families, that we can help people when they're in their most vulnerable moment. And we can do that with partners like y'all. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all nominating us to be part and share part of your offering. That's very humbling for me. We are the largest food bank in South Carolina, so we do cover a 20-county footprint. And what we really do is we do the heavy lifting for our partner agencies. And we work with about 400 of those across our 20 counties. And our partner agencies are those agencies that are in our communities, in our schools, in our churches, that are doing the work every single day. They are feeding our families. They are creating sustainable neighborhoods and sustainable communities. For example, Transitions Homeless Shelter, Senior Resources with Meals on Wheels, Oliver Gospel Mission, our Title I schools right here in Columbia. Those are the partner agencies that we work with. And I can go out in our community and I can be an advocate for them. And I can be an advocate for those that are hungry, so that way our partner agencies can truly focus on what they do best, which is feeding our neighbors. And what we do is we are there in that moment when somebody has to make a choice. Do I pay a bill or do I buy food? That's really what our role is. And the other role that we do is to be the voice for those, because the barriers that are creating that food insecurity, that moment in choice, can change. And I love saying this. We're in South Carolina. It's a beautiful state. We have a lot of great numbers, but some of them aren't so good. But the beauty of a number is it can change. And I really passionately ask everyone that I speak to work together so we can change it. It doesn't have to stay like this. We don't have to have one of the worst food insecurity rates in the country. It's not acceptable to me. And if we all work together and we really address those root causes that are driving this, whether it's barriers to childcare, barriers to health care, barriers to education, that will change that number. And the only way we can do it is for everybody to work together. And so that's really what I love asking people, is to be the voice for those that can't. We truly appreciate your gift. I know I have 3 minutes, so I can talk about this all morning. But I also encourage all of y'all to come out to Harvest Hope on Shop Road. I would love to give you a tour to really see how we feed our communities and what ways we feed them. We want to create a dignified experience for anybody that needs food, because I don't feel like, if you're in that moment of life that you need that much help or any help. I've been there. I'm very fortunate that I had a support system, but I'm sure everyone in this congregation has had a moment that they needed somebody else to help them. And that's why we're there. And so I just want to make sure we create a very dignified experience for those that need food, that need to feed their families, that need to feed themselves. So we can do that with partners like y'all, and I definitely appreciate it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be available, and I would love to have you come visit me at Shop Road so you can really see how we can come together and change food insecurity for South Carolina. So thank you very much this morning.
Thank you so much, Erin, and we look forward to this entire month of November, having a chance to partner with Harvest Hope with our Share the Plate and other ways that we are connecting as well. We typically put a link on our social media as well, so you'll have opportunity to learn more about Harvest Hope. This time I invite our ushers to come and receive our morning offering.
Our special music for the offertory today will be sung by Janice Klein. This is Into the West by Annie Lennox, Fran Walsh, and Howard Shore.
This is why the mic was so tall. It was for me.
your soft and weary hand. Night is falling. You have come to journey's end. Sleep now and dream of the ones who came before. White shores are calling from across a distant shore. Why do you weep? What are these tears across your face? Soon you will see all of your tears will pass away, safe in my arms. You're only sleeping. What can you see? On the horizon, why do those white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come to carry you home. And all will turn to silver glass, a light on the water, all souls pass. Hope fades into the world of night. Memories in time don't say we have come now to the end. White shores are calling. You and I will meet again, and you'll be here in my arms, just sleeping. What can you see? On the horizon, why do those white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come to carry you home, and all will turn to silver glass, a light on the water, gray ships pass into the west.
We receive our offering today, our symbol of our commitment to our good work. I'm going to sound a little strange when I say I look forward to this service every year, because I often hear people say, oh, the Day of the Dead, our memorial service, whew, we just got to get through that. But I really think it's an awesome experience of remembering and celebrating and connecting. And I so like to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. I'm going to do the rest of my sermon in Spanish from this point on. All right. Not really. Sorry. You've heard enough of that from me already. But it is a time to remember and to feel a connection, as we sang with our song as a congregation earlier, that they are still here, to feel a connection that transcends death, and to grieve, and to wonder for ourselves, how do we make room for grief in our lives, and how do we do the work that is called grief work? And that's exactly what it is. We often think grief is just something that happens, that we don't have any responsibility, but it's actually work. It's an assignment. It's a job to do when you know that you are feeling that experience of a loss in your life, to take the time to do the work of grief and the work of saying goodbye. Of course, we know the famous stages of death and dying that Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross identified as denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And sometimes we look at those 5 stages of grief as if it's something that we're supposed to accomplish. And if somehow we can get ourselves through the 5 stages, then we will have done the work of grief. And recognizing that it is linear, right? Obviously, it happens that way for everyone. You go through denial, through anger, through bargaining, through depression, and to acceptance. So if you're looking at it that way, you can say, well, I can't get myself to acceptance, but if at least I can get myself to depression, then I'm doing the work of grief, right? If we take it out of that linear mindset that it is not phases or stages that need to be accomplished, but just stages that need to be recognized and emotions that need to be experienced, it gives us more of a chance to experience grief with the randomness of how it shows up in our lives, to not see them as a linear roadmap, but a blessing of the normal feelings, which means you can have landed in acceptance and feel like you have grieved a loss in your life, and then a day on the calendar comes, or a smell, or some sound that you hear, or we have a service like this where we actually mention names, and all of a sudden, what you thought was in the category of acceptance becomes depression again, becomes denial, becomes anger again, becomes bargaining again. And Kubler-Ross never intended for these stages to be linear, but just to say, these are some normal things that you may feel. And I heard her say once that these are just 5 potential things that you may feel. There may be 100 things that you feel, and to pay attention to what you feel when you feel them, and to bless our grief, no matter what it is. Some people may say, well, your loved one died 20 years ago. Why are you still grieving? And I would ask, why are you not? How can you not grieve the impact of someone's death in our life? I heard someone talking about grief once say that we will condemn people who leave their rooms the way they are. They lose a loved one and we don't change anything about their room, and yet we know that there are homes, maybe not in South Carolina, but definitely in Georgia, right? And definitely Tennessee, that have whole rooms committed to the memory of Elvis Presley, whom we never met. So it's easy to judge grief. It's easy to say this is not the right way to do it. But the easier thing to do is just to lean into whatever you're feeling on any given day. And considering the fact that we have many of our members on hospice, I think it's important to hear the words of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross that these are not the stages of grief, really. They're the stages of death and dying. And grief work begins long before the death and the loss is experienced. So I ask today, where are you? And maybe you're experiencing lots of things, but where are you? It's isolating and can be isolating to wake up one day when everyone around you has moved on and you're overwhelmed with a dark cloud of depression and sadness. Well, lean into it and experience. It may feel irrational to be angry and even angry at the person who died. Know that the UUCC has never been a place of rationality. So it's a place that blesses being irrational in this space. Maybe everyone else is experiencing that sadness and that depression, and you all of a sudden feel a peace of acceptance. Lean into it in that day. Feel what you feel, and that is the way to support someone in grief. To just simply say, are you feeling this way? Well, of course you are. It makes sense that you are feeling that. Create a space for words to be spoken, which is the process of doing that work of grief, for names to be said out loud. So in that spirit today, we create a space today for grief, for remembrance, to honor the lives of the ones that we love, and to feel a connection to them that transcends death. We will begin our time by naming and remembering those who have died since we last gathered for this service. We are remembering Bill Barr and the beautiful story of Bill and Carita, a story of resilience. We are remembering Sloan Christian, a delightful soul and vulnerable person who so loved the spirit of the UUCC. We are remembering Sandy Shuban and her amazing contributions to the medical field and all that she contributed to education. We are remembering Warren Gooch, and it was so much of a connection for me when you were singing to think, yes, Warren was right. One of the first things Warren said to me was, there's a good spirit in this place. And he's absolutely right. I glanced over and thought about, as we were remembering Dee McFarland, his drum set on the stage over there, and imagining what it would be like for him to sit down and play those drums and add that to our service. And we were remembering Keitha Whitaker. The caring committee, the advocacy work here in the city of Columbia was transformed by the work of Keitha. And even though she had to move to Augusta and to be with family, we stayed connected, and we absolutely grieve her loss. So who are you remembering today? As we take a moment in our service, we're going to have music playing and give you a chance to come down to just not in the microphone, but to say out loud the names of those who you're remembering. And the water is there for you to place their names. I'm going to start with the 6 names that we are remembering. So after I do that, if you would like to come and just speak out loud and then just place the paper into the water. And invite us to do that at this time. bring all of those who we are remembering into this space today. By remembering them, we are honoring their life, their connection to us, their connection to this earth, to humanity. And we honor their life and their memory by giving them back to the symbol of water, a symbol of eternity, a symbol of connection. You can remain seated today, but please join me in our responsive reading. It's number 720 in our hymnal. I will read the bold if you read the italic. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them.
Please join in singing our closing hymn, number 96, I Cannot Think of Them as Dead. Number 96, and I invite you to stand and join in singing as you're willing and able.
As you remain standing, I just appreciate your vulnerability and bringing those who you were remembering in your private heart and your private space and bringing them into this public space today as a shared community. It is a beautiful sight to see the work of remembering and the work of grieving. The only challenge for us here is Larry tries to keep a number of all who are in attendance. And so when we name all those who we're adding to the attendance today, he's got to listen to make sure we have an accurate count. I think we're somewhere around 600 today, so that actually boosts our numbers for the year. So. In closing, just remind us as we are remembering those names, remembering those people who have touched our lives. Just in closing, I remind us of the words we just said. As long as we live, they too shall live, for they are a part of us, and we remember them.
Please join in our congregational benediction.
Thank you all for being a part of this service today. If you're here visiting for the first time, please stick around, give us an opportunity to get to know you. If you're a member here and you've been coming for 20 years and you see someone you don't know, please stick around and give us an opportunity to get to meet you and spend time together in our fellowship, our social time. Thank you all for being a part of this service. Oh, just a quick reminder too, there's a visitor orientation in room 8.